Welcome back to A Moment in History. I'm Seth Udinsky. Well, in 1919, the foundations of a new professional football organization were laid with the creation of the American Professional Football Association, which in 1920 would become an official sports organization and in 1922 be rebranded as the National Football League. In 1919, before the NFL even existed, an African-American star burst onto the scene as one of the great stars in the league and the first black player, a running back for the Akron Pros named Fritz Pollard. Pollard served his country during World War I, and following the American victory in the war, he had the opportunity to both coach college football and play professionally in Akron, Ohio. Almost 30 years before baseball's color barrier was broken, football's never had a chance to be constructed, as Pollard was an explosive tailback for the Pros and led the team to a championship in 1920, which is widely regarded as the first ever NFL championship that was won by a team. Though Jim Crow attitudes were prevalent, Pollard was respected for his stellar play, and in 1921, he also became the first ever African-American coach in the NFL as a player coach for the Pros. Pollard spent 8 seasons in the league before leaving the NFL after the 1926 season. Several years later, he formed an all-black team in Chicago known as the Chicago Blackhawks, and by the way, that's no relation to the present-day hockey team. As for the NFL, there were hardly any more prominent black stars in the league for the 20 years after Pollard's retirement. Some historians believe a resegregation of the league took place after Pollard's departure, which required then a second integration to occur in 1946, when the Los Angeles Rams and Cleveland Browns welcomed black players onto their squads. Pollard, meanwhile, remained a titanic figure and an ambassador for American football in the years after his playing days were over. In 1954, he received induction into the College Football Hall of Fame, and in 2005, almost 20 years after his death at age 92, he was voted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame in Canton, Ohio, just 20 miles south of where he first made a name for himself as America's first professional football star. Thanks so much for joining me once again for A Moment in History.